So as you know on this channel, we're not someone who automatically fire everyone if things don't go your way. We like to give people the benefit of the doubt. We like to give them a little bit of time to implement their system. But with Mike Zimmer, it's been 8 years. We are in year 8, and you've had 2 playoff wins. Congratulations. Had 1 NFC title game debacle. Sure, whatever. But it's time. It is time. And a couple weeks ago, after that Ravens overtime loss where it was embarrassing, you let them march 75 friggin' yards to kick the game winner, then we were calling it. Then we were calling it that, hey, it's time for a change. The locker room seems to have tuned him out. And yes, it is nice to have all of these close games. You could be like, oh, we're so close. But the fact that coaching mistakes, management of the game is costing you over and over and over in these razor thin margins. And this team, even though they're 5-7, could they easily be 10-2? Yes. With better leadership, better coaching? Yes, I think they should. And the problem is sometimes talent is like a cologne, and it'll cover up the stench of bad coaching for a long time. And the Vikings had that when you have Eric freaking Kendricks, the best off-ball linebacker in the game. We have Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Christian Darrisaw was stepping up, Anthony Barr, Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter, etc. Like Patrick Peterson, the list goes on, right? But once you take those away, then you start getting exposed. And yes, it's very easy to blame it on the injuries, but every team in the league has injuries. But the teams with the best coaches overcome them. They focus on what the next man up can do versus what they can't do. And they strategize, and they're able to come up with a game plan, and they're able to beat a team that hasn't won a game this year. So, yes, it is time again. Once again, we are here to ask for your support in firing Mike Zimmer, because he had a brief reprieve from the governor after they beat the very much as inconsistent Chargers, just like the Vikings, and then you beat the Packers, which is your rival, and you're obviously going to get up for that game. But then going out to San Francisco, giving that game away after building up yet another lead, and then the Vikings come into the Lions game where yeah, it's over. It's over, Johnny. And the thing about it is, this team, even with the injuries, with better coaching, they would be in the playoff places. They may be competing for the division. That's what has to be the crux for the Wilfs, for ownership to make a change with Zimmer, who still has multiple years left on his contract. I believe it's 2. So they're going to have to shell out, pay out the staff on the way out the door, and they got to make a change, because Minnesota if you're an offensive-minded head coach, let's say you're Doug Peterson, say you're Brian Daboll, say you're Eric Bieniemy, etc. You look at Minnesota, you look at Justin friggin' Jefferson, you look at Dalvin Cook, potentially. You look at Adam Thielen, who still has some tread on the tire. You look at this young, up-and-coming offensive line, if they can stay healthy and if they can start gelling. You look at Kene friggin' Nwangu, and you're like, ooh, I can win here. We'll get someone else to take care of the defense. They still got some great pieces there. They still have Kendricks, Harrison Smith starting to age out a little bit. Anthony Barr is going to be gone. Danielle Hunter, maybe he'll be back. They got Pearson, Dalvin Tomlinson. Okay, we can do something here. But I honestly cannot fathom how they can keep Zimmer next year. Now, I'm fully prepared for them to keep him the rest of the season, and they'll just see how this thing plays out and yada yada. Where they're not going to fire him on a short week. That's for certain, because the interim staff would then have to game plan and blah, 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 and get ready for Thursday, historic U.S. Bank Stadium. But we said this in the wrap-up video of the Lions game, where if ownership sees that their stadium, historic U.S. Bank Stadium, is 65% black and yellow Steelers, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, because Steelers do have a nationwide fan base. They do travel well. So if Vikings fans, season ticket holders, are checked out and they're selling their tickets on the secondary market, and Steelers fans are coming in and scooping them up on StubHub, and then Vikings fans, who usually what about single game tickets, they ain't showing up, and then they hear, here we go, Steelers, here we go, and then it sounds like Heinz Field indoors Redux on Thursday night in prime time, national television, and the Vikings lay an egg. They get embarrassed, and the remaining Vikings fans in the stadium are booing, boo, boo, fire Zimmer, fire Zimmer. If they want to see that on national TV, it's going to be embarrassing. That's going to be embarrassing. Then I think that they will make a change. Since you have the extended layoff from Thursday night to the next week, Monday Night Football at Chicago. I think that they would make a change then. But I'm still not holding my breath on it. Like, even though it would be 4 games to give a guy like Andre Patterson an audition. And maybe not even for the head job with the Vikings, but if he does well in the final 4 games as interim head coach, Andre Patterson deserves to be a head coach somewhere in this league. So maybe it would be a nice audition to get him some tape of him as a head coach for his interviewing for the next job. That would be doing Andre Patterson a solid. And it would be clear if and when the Vikings lose to the Steelers, which is a possibility, that they're not going anywhere under Zimmer. He's going to be dead man walking anyway, so why prolong the inevitable? Right? So, why delay that? So I think it's clear that a change needs to come. For a hot second, we thought, heck, hey, maybe Zimmer is going to stop focusing on the defense. Maybe he'll become the head coach of the entire team. Maybe he'll magically get better at clock management and game management as well as personnel management. But no, it didn't happen. And the Vikings just sleptwalk through that first half against Detroit. When they could have had 21 points, they ended up with 6. They're like, oh, that's not going to come back to haunt you. And then just the decisions to keep chasing points before you had to, and then continually putting this team behind the 8 ball. And then, oh, it would have been nice to be up 7 as opposed to up 4 on the final drive. Yeah. And also maybe blitzing Jared Goff, and then maybe having your 8 in coverage, have some of them on the goal line, huh? Or Mac Alexander fighting through coverage. Cameron Dantzler not covering up in the upper UP, but still a little bit better. I mean, you lost to the Lions, man. You lost to a team that literally had not tasted victory. Like, they had a tie. Congratulations. That was the closest that they won. They're probably only going to win 1 game all year. God. It's just... And Zimmer still gets a pass because, hey, at least he's not Leslie Frazier. At least he turned around that defense. That was 7 years ago, man. This is not 2015, 2016, 2017. This is not that anymore. Like, we're talking about now. Is he the man for the job now? He is not. He simply is not. I don't even know Clint Kubiak should be an offensive coordinator. Like, I feel like he's starting to develop on the job, but we ain't got that time. This was a Super Bowl caliber roster. They had a bunch of injuries. You gave away a bunch of close games, which led to the margin of error being like this. I mean, yeah, you look at the Cardinals, where they started out hot, they banked up a bunch of wins, and they weathered the storm. Weathering of the storm of Kyler and Nuke getting hurt. They missed 3 games. Guess what? They're fine. But with the Vikings, now with a rash of injuries, the fact that you are now 5-7 as opposed to 8-4, as opposed to 9-3, it's done. Oh, there's still a chance. No. But it's so frustrating, man. It is. So much talent. It's an army of wolves being led by a donkey. It's exactly what it is. So, yeah, it's time for a change. Will it come during the season? I don't know. But I swear on everything that is holy, it has to happen before next year. Otherwise, you're going to have players like Eric Kendricks looking around. Why am I wasting my career here? You look at Justin Jefferson, who's on year 2 of his rookie deal. Why am I wasting my career here? So, if there's not a change of leadership, there will be an exodus of talent. Believe that. But your thoughts are thoughts. Time for a change. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Venmo, support the work. But until next time, Skol, production value.